Good evening, Namaste. I welcome you all to this Indian section Sunday program. Today we have a very special talk by our young members who are our new members in the Indian section from different lodges. Before I introduce them and share about the theme or the topic or what they're going to talk about, let us do our universal invocation. Oh. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Come back. So today is a very special evening. All the speakers of today evening are very, very young. I would say they're the very new members. 3 from Prayas, Theosophical Lodge, Ghaziabad, 1 from Siddharth Lodge, Bhubaneswar, Utkal Federation. So today we will be listening to them in the context of a very, very promising, inspiring, and helpful book. We all know it. People who have already read it. I Promise by C. Jinaradasa. This is a very, very effective book for all age group. However, our young speakers, just after reading or attending the workshop on At the Feet of the Master, the second book they studied is I Promise. Since there are 4 parts in this book, there will be 4 speakers, each of them talking about one such topic. There are 4 topics like bright looks, brave words, joyous thoughts, and nightly deeds. So for each topic, there will be one young speaker. Our first speaker is Somya Mishra. She's from Prayas Theosophical Laws, Ghaziabad, from UP and Uttarakhand Federation. She recently joined a couple of months back, and she's a new member, a 13-year-old studying in class 8. Recently, she attended Bhavali study camp. I would not say she attended. She literally participated in the play, in the dance, in the symposium, in the individual learning sharing, whatever games and exercises we did, she actively participated. She also did good Q&A discussions and was genuinely interested in learning. Along with her studies, she's also keeping interest in classical Odissi dance, and she's already performing in various forums. I welcome Somya Mishra, the young speaker of today, to start the first segment of the book, Bright Looks. Over to Somya.
Thank you so much, Sister Savlina, for the introduction. So, today I am going to speak on a very interesting topic from the book I Promise Bright Looks. When I first saw this topic, I thought it would be about looking beautiful, wearing nice clothes, or having a pleasant face. Most of us think that when someone says a person has bright looks, it means that the person is attractive, good looking. But when I read this chapter, I discovered something much deeper and more meaningful. The book teaches us that real brightness is not something we see only on the outside. True brightness comes from within us. It comes from our thoughts, our feelings, and our character. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever met someone who may not be dressed extraordinary, but still makes you feel happy and comfortable when they're around? Their smile feels genuine. Their words are kind, and their presence makes others feel peaceful. Such people have a special glow. That glow is what the book calls bright looks. Our face is often a reflection of our mind. When we are angry, worried, jealous, or unhappy, it shows on our face. But when we are cheerful, grateful, and kind, our face naturally becomes brighter and more pleasant. So, bright looks are not created by makeup, fashion, or expensive fashion things. They are created by good thoughts and good actions. In Theosophy, we learn that every human being has soul. The soul is pure, beautiful, and full of inner light. This inner light is always present within us. However, sometimes negative qualities such as anger, selfishness, fear, hatred, and greed act like clouds that cover this light, just as the sun is always shining behind the clouds. Our inner light is always shining behind these negative qualities. The challenge is to remove these clouds so that the light can shine freely. How do we remove these clouds? We remove them by sorry. We remove them by developing good habits and noble qualities. When we practice kindness, honesty, patience, gratitude, and self control, we gradually uncover the light within us. For example, imagine when someone says something unkind to you. It is easy to become angry and reply harshly. But if you stay calm and respond politely, you're allowing your inner light to shine. That calmness and kindness becomes the part of your bright looks. Meditation is another way to uncover your inner brightness. When we spend a few minutes sitting quietly and observing our thoughts, our minds become calmer. A calm mind creates peace, and peace creates brightness. Service to others also increases our inner glow. Whenever we help someone without expecting anything in return, we feel happy on the inside. Maybe we help a friend understand a lesson, assist our parents at home, or comfort someone who feels sad. These simple acts of service make our hearts brighter. We can actually see examples of bright looks in our daily lives. Think of a teacher who genuinely cares for the students. Think of a grandparent who is always loving and patient. Think of a friend who is always ready to help others. Their faces may not look like movie stars, but there is something special about them. People enjoy being around them because they radiate warmth and goodness. A thankful person often carries peace on their face. A kind person often has a welcoming smile. An honest person often looks confident and calm. These qualities create a beauty that never fades. Of course, taking care of our physical health is too important. When we eat healthy food, drink enough water, sleep well, exercise regularly, and maintain cleanliness, our bodies feel energetic and fresh. Good health supports our inner brightness. But the book reminds us that physical appearance alone is not enough. A person may look attractive on the outside, but if they are rude, selfish, or dishonest, people will not feel comfortable around them. On the other hand, a person with a kind heart becomes more beautiful every day because their goodness shines through. So, how can we develop bright looks in our own lives? The first step is positive thinking. Our thoughts are very powerful. If we consistently think about negative thoughts, we become unhappy and stressed. But when we focus on positive thoughts, solutions, and possibilities, our minds become lighter and our faces naturally become bright. The second step is simple living. Simple living does not mean giving up on everything. It means avoiding unnecessary complications, and learning to be content with what we have. When we stop comparing ourselves with others and appreciate our own lives, we feel more peaceful. The third step is gratitude. Every day, we can think of a few things we are thankful for: our family, our friends, our education, our health, and the opportunities we receive. Gratitude fills the heart with joy, and joyful hearts shine brightly. The fourth step is kindness. A gentle smile, a kind word, helping someone in need, sharing with others, and showing respect. These small actions create a big difference. Every act of kindness adds a little more brightness to our lives. The fifth step is keeping our promises. The title of the book is I Promise. Every time we keep a promise, whether it is completing our work, speaking the truth, or helping someone, we strengthen our character. A strong character creates inner confidence, and confidence creates brightness. Let me share a simple example. Imagine a lamp covered with dust. The lamp has light inside it, but because of the dust, the light cannot shine clearly. If we clean the lamp, the light becomes visible again. In the same way, our soul is already bright. Negative thoughts, bad habits, selfishness, and anger are acting like dust covering the lamp. When we clean our minds through discipline, kindness, gratitude, meditation, and service, our inner light shines through. That shining light becomes our bright looks. This is the promise we make to ourselves: to become better every day, to think more positively, to act kindly, and to live in harmony with others. If each one of us develops this inner brightness, we can make we can make our homes happier, our schools friendlier, and our world more peaceful. To conclude, bright looks are not about cosmetics, fashion, or outer appearance. They're about the beautiful light of the soul. When we fill our minds with positive thoughts, our hearts with kindness, and our lives with good action, this light shines naturally. The book I Promise teaches us that true beauty is the brightness of our spirit. Let us all make a promise to nurture this inner light every day. When we do that, we will not only shine ourselves, but also inspire and uplift everyone around us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a very good flow, and you gave some good examples which we could recall. I must tell you, Soumya, this is not a book for you only. It's for me. It's for everyone. It's for all age group. This might be your second book in theosophy, but this will go a long way with you. At the feet of master, I promise you have read both the books now. You could now sense what theosophy is all about. Thank you for joining this forum. Thank you for being such a beautiful speaker. Stay bright. Thank you. And now I would call upon and the second speaker. I'm just adding her to it. Her name is Sai Snigdha Chaudhary. She's again another young speaker of today, and she's a very young member, recently joined at Siddharth Lodge in Utkal Federation. A 15 years old girl studying in 10th grade. I know 10th grade is supposed to be a very, what, a milestone class of yours. But at the same time, now that you've joined this group and you have starting something other than your textbook, definitely it will help you. But beyond that, we will like to know what did you learn out of this book, and precisely on the, not the entire book, at least on the brave words, because uh, time being short, we would listen to everybody with one aspect each. I want you to move on with the aspect brave words, right? That was yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Sabrina, for such a good introduction. Good evening, everybody. Today, I will be sharing my thoughts and understanding on the topic brave words. While preparing for this, I got the opportunity to read, reflect, and think more deeply about the message behind it. I hope to present not only what I understood, but also the ideas and lessons that stayed with me after reading the book. Thank you, and I would like to begin. Brave words, one of the four ideals presented in the book I Promise. The four ideals are bright looks, brave words, joyous thoughts, and knightly deeds. Among these, I choose brave words because I believe that words have great power. They can encourage, heal, guide, inspire, and sometimes even change the course of a person's life. We use words every day. We use them when we talk to our family, friends, teachers, and classmates. Sometimes we do not realize it, but our words can make someone happy or sad, confident or discouraged, hopeful or afraid. When we hear the word brave, we often think of soldiers, firefighters, or people performing heroic actions. However, bravery is not only shown through actions, it can also be shown through speech. Brave words are words spoken with honesty, courage, kindness, and responsibility. They are words that stand for truth, even when speaking the truth is difficult. In our daily lives, we often face situations where we know what is right but hesitate to speak. We worry about what others will think. We worry that people may laugh at us. We worry about making mistakes. Because of these fears, we sometimes remain silent. But brave words teach us that doing what is right is more important than doing what is easy. We may fear criticism, rejection, or embarrassment. Brave words teach us to overcome that fear. They remind us that remaining silent in the face of wrong is not always the best choice. Sometimes, courage means simply speaking up. For example, imagine that you're in a classroom and you know the answer to a question. You raise your hand even though you're not completely sure. That takes courage. You may be right or wrong, but you're brave enough to try. Many successful people became successful because they were willingly to speak, ask questions, and learn from mistakes. Brave words are not harsh words. They are not rude or insulting words. True bravery in speech is always connected with kindness and respect. A person who shouts or hurts others is not necessarily brave. A truly brave person speaks firmly but politely. They defend truth without causing unnecessary harm. One place where brave words are needed is in school. Imagine a student being bullied by classmates. Many students may witness the incident, but only a few may have the courage to speak up. The student who says, "This is wrong, please stop," is using brave words. Even if others disagree or laugh, that student chooses what is right over what is easy. Brave words are also important at home. Sometimes we make mistakes and feel tempted to hide the truth. Admitting our mistakes requires courage. Saying, "I am sorry" or "I made a mistake" may seem simple, but it is often difficult. Yet, these words build trust and help us grow as individuals. Another example is when we see unfair treatment. If someone is blamed for something they did not do, brave words encourage us to speak in their support. Remaining silent may be comfortable, but speaking the truth requires strength of character. History also provides many examples of brave words. Great leaders often change society, not only through actions, but also through their speeches and messages. Their courage to speak for justice, equality, and peace inspired millions of people. Their words encouraged others to believe in a better future.
Brave words are equally important in today's world. Through social media and technology, people communicate constantly. Unfortunately, some people misuse words to spread negativity, hatred, or misinformation. The principle of brave words reminds us to use our voice responsibly. We should choose words that are truthful, constructive, and beneficial to others. I have learned that brave words are needed in everyday situations, not only during extraordinary moments. A student who asks a question when others are afraid, a friend who stands up for another friend, or a child who tells the truth despite fear. All these people demonstrate brave words. Personally, I feel that brave words begin with self confidence. When we believe in doing what is right, we become less afraid of what others think. We learn to express our opinions respectfully and honestly. We also become better listeners because brave communication includes understanding others as well as speaking our own truth. The lesson of brave words has made me think more carefully about the way I speak. Before speaking, I should ask myself, are my words brave enough? Will they hurt someone? Will they inspire others? Will they inspire others?
I think there is some network glitch at her place. If she comes back, we will continue if she wants to speak more. Meanwhile, I think we should move to the next speaker. Let me introduce the new speaker to each of you. By the time if Saisnita comes back, she can continue, and after that. The third speaker would be Akanksha. Aakanksha Kamal is again 13 years old and studying in ninth class. Again, a new member of Prayas Philosophical Lodge. And let me just spotlight her for everyone just to see who's she. So this smiling, beautiful girl is Aakanksha Kamal. She and Somya gave a very good performance in Bhavali Youth Camp in an Odissi dance performance. Other than that, they also performed a beautiful play. More than these performances, what what was more important about Akanksha was she actively participated in the discussions and answered to quite a good questions by the audience, and she managed to establish a stand in what she believes and expressing what is truth to her, and whatever aspects of at the feet of the master in the camp we did, she ensured that she relates it to the real life and she did justice in that. That's a good part about her. So I would request her to talk about joyous thoughts. If Sai Snigdha joins back, we would listen to her. Otherwise, we will move ahead with you. So, welcome you, Akanksha, for this joyous thoughts theme from the I Promise book.
Thank you so much, Sister Sabrina. And it is my pleasure to speak about one of the four chapters in the book I Promise, Joyous Thoughts. When I first read this chapter, I thought it would simply be about being happy, but as I continued reading, I realized that it teaches something much deeper. It shows us that joy is not just a feeling that comes and goes. It is something that can become a way of life. The author begins with a very simple but a powerful idea. He says that every living thing is searching for happiness. Think about it. A plant grows towards sunlight. Birds sing in the morning. Animals search for food and safety. Human beings also want happiness, whether we are children or adults. Everyone wants to feel joyful and peaceful. But then an interesting question comes up. If everyone wants happiness, why do we see so many unhappy people? Why do people get angry, worried, jealous, or upset? Why do we sometimes feel unhappy even when we have so many good things in our lives? The author explains this with a beautiful example. He says the sun is always shining. Even on a cloudy day, the sun is still there. The clouds only hide it from our view. In the same way, there is light inside every one of us. It is the light of our soul. This light is naturally peaceful, loving, and joyful. But negative thoughts such as anger, selfishness, jealousy, fear, and hatred are like clouds. They cover our inner light and prevent it from shining fully. The problem is not that the light is gone. The problem is that we have allowed too many clouds to gather around it. The author shares a beautiful teaching that God is full of light, but sometimes people turn their backs on that light and then complain that everything is dark. When I read this, it made me think about my own life. Sometimes when something goes wrong, I focus only on the problem. But perhaps what I really needed is to turn back toward that light by changing my thoughts and my attitude. Now, some of us may wonder, how can a child help make the world a better place? There are so many problems in the world. Jinardasa gives a very encouraging answer. He says we do not have to wait until we become adults. Even now, we can make the world a better place through the power of joyous thoughts. But first, we need to understand the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness usually depends on things outside us. We feel happy when we receive a gift. We feel happy when we win a competition. We feel happy when someone praises us. These are all wonderful experiences, but they do not last forever. The excitement slowly fades away. Real joy is different. Real joy comes from inside. The author compares it to a spring of fresh water flowing from the earth. It keeps flowing day and night without stopping. In the same way, true joy is already within us. It does not depend on presents, prizes, or praise. It comes from our inner self. For example, after a birthday party, the balloons may be gone, the gifts may be opened, but the loving memories of spending time with family and friends can continue to bring joy for a long time. That is the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness often comes from what happens around us. Joy comes from what grows within us. So, how do we bring out this joy? The author says one important way is by helping others. Whenever we stop thinking only about ourselves and start helping someone else, something beautiful happens. Maybe we help a classmate and understand a lesson. Maybe we help our parents without being asked. Maybe a friend. Maybe we encourage someone who is feeling or lonely. These actions may seem small, but they create happiness for others and joy within ourselves. Have you ever noticed how good you feel after helping someone? That good feeling is the beginning of joy. The author reminds us that charity begins at home. That means we should start by helping the people closest to us. At home, we can cooperate with our parents and grandparents. We can keep our room tidy. We can complete our responsibilities without constant reminders. We can be kind to our brothers and sisters. At school, we can support our teachers, work well with classmates, and create a friendly atmosphere. Even during games and sports, we can think about helping the whole team succeed instead of focusing only on ourselves. Wherever there is a helpful thought, there is joy. The author then explains that joyous thoughts are built on three important qualities: purity, peace, and power. Let me talk about each one. First is purity. Purity means keeping our minds clean from negative thoughts. One beautiful way to develop purity is by appreciating nature. Have you ever watched a sunrise or listened carefully to the birds singing? Or have you ever admired colorful flowers after the rain? Nature has a special way of calming our minds. Whenever we spend time with nature, our worries seem smaller. We feel fresh, peaceful, and happy. The author says that enjoying nature is like giving our mind a refreshing bath. Just as we wash our body every day, we also need ways to keep our thoughts clean and fresh. The second quality is peace. Peace does not mean sitting quietly and doing nothing. Peace means remaining calm even when situations are difficult. Imagine someone says something unkind to you. Your first reaction may be to become angry, but a peaceful person pauses before reacting. They think carefully. They choose kindness instead of anger. That takes real strength. I think we all experience this at school. Sometimes disagreements happen among friends, but later we realize that friendship is more important than winning an argument. When we choose understanding instead of fighting, we create peace. The author says we should be like a strong rock, standing steadily in the middle of a stormy sea. No matter what happens around us, we remain calm and balanced. The third quality is power. When we hear the word power, we often think about physical strength. But the author is thinking about inner power. Inner power is the courage to keep trying. All of us make mistakes. All of us fail sometimes. But powerful people do not give up. They say, I will try again. Think about learning to ride a bicycle, swimming, dancing, playing an instrument, or to learn a difficult subject. At first, it may seem hard. We may make mistakes. We may even feel like giving up. But every time we try again, we become stronger. That determination is inner power. The author encourages us not to keep thinking about our past mistakes. Instead, we should focus on becoming better tomorrow than we are today. Every new day is a fresh opportunity to improve ourselves. Towards the end of the chapter, Dasa reminds us of great spiritual teachers like Lord Buddha, Sri Krishna, and Lord Christ. These great teachers spread love, peace, and kindness and joy wherever they went. People felt happy simply by being around them because their inner light shone so brightly. The good news is that the same light exists within each of us. We do not have to become famous or powerful to shine. Simply need to develop good thoughts, kind actions, peaceful minds, and helpful hearts. Every joyful thought makes the world a little brighter. Every act of kindness spreads a little more light. Every moment of gratitude brings more happiness into our lives. Imagine what would happen if every person in this room decided to think one more positive thought each day, perform one extra act of kindness, and help one person every day. Our school, our homes, and our communities would become happier places. Small action can create big changes. So let us make a simple promise today. Let us try to think more positive thoughts. Let us try to help others whenever we can. Let us choose kindness over anger, peace over conflict, and hope over negativity. When we do this, we not only make ourselves happier, but we also make the world a better place. I would like to end with this beautiful promise from this chapter. Holy Master, Father, and Friend, I promise to think joyous thoughts for the sake of all people. Let us all try to keep this promise every day. Thank you.
Thank you. We will keep a promise with you. That was so nice to end. I remember this book has all four promises at after each chapter, after each segment. Beautifully. I mean, I just recall the every bit of the book I had read. I had read some years back. Recently, also, I had probably read it for some camp. But thanks for reminding me. You, all of you, reminding me to read and keep that promise up. Thank you for being so sweet, and that was a good ending. But yes, that's not the end of the book. We would now move to our last speaker. But yes, I'm sure she's going to do justice. She just ran from her tuition classes and just joined. That's so nice of her. I will just add her in the spotlight. That's Paavni Verma, a 16-year-old studying in standard 11, big girl. With her academics, she also focuses on, I would rather say she's passionate about creative arts, particularly singing. She did a wonderful devotional song performance in the camp. All these kids had performed in the camp so beautifully. And I'm really glad that after reading At the Feet of the Master and reading this I Promise, the second book in Theosophic Literature of their journey, they are so excited and enthusiastic about talking about it. I wish you all the best. Over to you, Paavni, and your segment will be the last chapter of the book, Nightly Dates. Okay, so please take us through your learnings from the book. Over to you.
So today, I would like to speak about nightly deeds. One of the four ideals presented in the wonderful book I Promise by C. Janadrasa. The four ideals in the book are bright looks, brave words, joyous thoughts, and nightly deeds. Among these four ideals, nightly deeds is especially interesting because it teaches us how to turn good thoughts and good words into good actions. After all, it's not enough to think good thoughts or speak kind words. We must also act on them. That is what nightly deeds are all about. When we hear the word knight, we often imagine something wearing shining armor, riding a horse, carrying a sword, and fighting dragons or enemies. We think of brave heroes from stories and legends. But when I read about knightly deeds, I realized that being a knight is not only about armor, sword, or battles. The most important thing about knight was their character. A true knight followed a code of value. They tried to be brave, honest, loyal, kind, and helpful. They protected people who needed help. They stood up for what was right. They put the needs of others before their own comfort. In many ways, the book teaches us that we can all become modern day knights. We may not wear armor, we may not ride horses, but every day we have opportunities to perform knightly deeds. One of the most important quality of knight was courage. Now courage does not mean never feeling afraid. Everyone feels afraid sometimes. Courage means doing the right thing even when you're afraid. For example, imagine that you see someone being teased or bullied at the school. You may feel nervous about speaking up. You may worry that other will laugh at you. But if you kindly say, "Please stop. This is not right," you are showing courage. That is knightly deed. A knight's courage was never meant to be used for selfish reasons. A true knight did not fight to become famous. A true knight used courage to protect others. In the same way, our courage should used to help people, not just ourselves. Another important quality of a knight was helpfulness. Knights were expected to protect those who could not protect themselves. Today, we may not be protecting villages or kingdoms, but we can still protect people through our actions. Perhaps a younger student is struggling with school homework. A new student feels lonely. Someone is left out of the game. We can choose to help. A simple act of kindness can make a huge difference. Sometimes helping helping others Sometimes helping someone takes only a few minutes, but the happiness it creates can last much longer. The book reminds us that even small deeds matter. We do not need to do extraordinary. Holding a door open, helping at home, sharing with others, comforting a friend, or volunteering our time are all example of knightly deeds. The next quality is loyalty. A knight was expected to be loyal and trustworthy. When a knight gave their word, people trusted them. Today, loyalty means being someone that other can depend on. It means standing by our friends when they need support, keeping our promises, being honest even when honesty is difficult. Imagine telling your parents that you completed your homework when you actually did not. That may seem like an easy solution at that moment, but honestly, it requires more courage. A modern knight chooses trust over convenience. People trust those who are honest, and trust is one of the most valuable things we can earn. Another important lesson of knightly deeds is service. Many people think greatness comes from power, wealth, or fame, but the book teaches us different. True greatness comes from serving others. Think about the people who make our lives better every day, teachers who can help us learn, parents who care for us, doctors who help us recover from illness, volunteers who work for their own communities. These people serve others. Their actions make the world better. And that is what knightly deeds are all about. Sometimes we think we are too young to make a difference, but that is not true. Even when children can serve, we can help at home, can assist classmates, can show respect to elders, and we can take care of our environment. Every act of service adds a little more goodness to the world. Another quality of knight was fairness. A knight was expected to treat people fairly and respectfully. They were not supposed to judge people on the basis of their wealth, appearance, or status. This is an important lesson for us today. Sometimes people are left out because they look different, speak differently, or come from a different region. A knightly person welcomes everyone. They treat others with kindness, respect, and truthfulness. They believe everyone deserves dignity. Fairness helps create harmony and friendship. The book also teaches us that a true knight must learn self control. This may sound surprising, but we often think bravery is about defeating others. But one of the hardest things to defeat is our own anger, impatience, and selfishness. For an example, when someone annoys us, it is easy to react angrily. But when we do not get what we want, it is easy to complain. When someone succeeds, it's easy to feel jealous. But a knight learns to control these feelings. A knight chooses patience over anger, kindness over selfishness, understanding over judgment. In many ways, the greatest battle we fight is not with the other people, it is about our own weaknesses. And every time we choose kindness, patience, and honesty, we win that battle. I also like the idea of knightly deeds connect us from all the idle books. Bright looks come from the having goodness within. Brave words help us speak truth and kindness. Joyous thoughts help us think positively. But knightly deeds are where we put everything into action. In conclusion, knightly deeds are not about armor, swords, or heroic battles. They're about courage, kindness, honesty, loyalty, services, fairness, and self control. They remind us that true greatness comes from what we have, but not from what we want to. The message of I promise Promise teaches us that each one of us can become a modern knight by living these values every day. Let us all make that promise and strive to perform knightly deeds wherever we go. Thank you.
That was so nice to close this chapter and close the book. Each of you did wonderful job. I would like to add each of you now to the spotlight before we close the session. I want everybody in the audience to know each of you. And where is the other one? Okay. Somya Mishra is here. All of you are here. Very nice. Thank you so much, all of you. I really enjoyed the entire book, not just by reading it many times, but yes, listening to all of you because the examples were so lively. You all talked about your schools, you talked about your friends. That is your life now. And I'm sure when you grow up, your life will change, but the rules of life will not change. The environment will change. You'll go to colleges, you'll go to job, you'll do your own business, you'll have your own family, you'll go to community, you might go to politics, leadership, you might do anything in the world. The whole world is yours. And probably the very learning you had from this book will continue if you continue to practice it. It's not about just reading. As a member of the Theosophical Society, we have learned one thing for sure. If I read one page for 10 minutes, I have to contemplate on it for maybe 2 hours, 4 hours, maybe a day, a month. You don't know even. Remember, I told you about that gentleman who said at the feet of the master, he's still continuing to learning, but he's not able to grasp everything and practice everything. That is what life is all about. Thank you for reading the book, first of all. Thank you for keeping my request to read and share your experience. And we should thank to Brother Pradeep Mahapatra, who gave us the entire opportunity for a very, very young group to do this. We would love to do such forums more and more. Thank you, audience. This is not just a talk and followed by Q&A. We will have no Q&A, but I'm sure they did it so, so well. Next time when they're ready for a Q&A, we'll call them to a Q&A session. So with this, we'll have our closing prayer. Stay here. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukhabhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, all the speakers. Thanks, audience. I'm so happy to have concluded, and I think it's my opportunity to moderate such a beautiful session. Thank you all for this. So we are ending the session.